This week on Now Here with Chris and Kell.
Help! It's mañana. And Drifter seems to have weathered the storm just fine. I think it got up to 45 knots down here. I don't really see any evidence of problems at this point, so I'd say we're in good shape. Not that that's like a ridiculous amount of wind, but it's always nice to know that when it's all by its lonesome, it survives. So we're in final prep mode to get hoisted out of here. Gonna stow all the stuff on deck and do a few other things today. It is high noon, and I think we're in a pretty good spot. Don't you, Kell? We got the whole boat scrubbed down. Everything seems to be stowed. If there's something else we need to get ready, I am ignorant of what it is. So we're just kind of cleaning up and doing the last minute things, and just we're on a hold pattern until they get in touch with us and tell us it's our turn.
The yard is just over that way somewhere. It's a lot of hurry up and wait.
What?
Our time has come, and now it's our turn for the slings. So we set our radio to communicate with the line handlers to let them know of our arrival. So I'll do the front starboard line first. Throw it up here.
Yeah, starboard, and then
We untie from the dock and start carefully backing out of our slip, as usual. It was at this point that things started to get a little out of control. The current was pushing on our full keel and pressing us right into the dock we had just pulled so far away from. I was at the bow, ready to fend off our shiv of an anchor from spearing into this quaint little $1 million fishing yacht ahead of us, and Chris was trying with all his might to push our 12-ton beefy boy off this piling. Captain Hercules over here was pretty impressive, but now he's got to get back down below and start driving, and quickly, because this current is bound to push us right back over into the dock. We started drifting over again, and it was then that I realized my 5-foot body did not extend beyond our anchor. With Chris at the bow, I went to the stern to make sure our ass wasn't grinding on that piling. Okay, we're almost in the clear. I think we got this. Chris then realized my hand was caught between our solar panel and the piling, and why I didn't go to the front.
help!
Help was on the way, but not quite fast enough. Yep, we definitely hit that piling. We're stuck now. I hand the lines to our guardian angel here on the dock, and he helps us pivot so we can cast out again. This time, more successfully. With Chris now on the dock and me on deck, we push Drifter off, giving it everything we got. Whew, now we're officially in the clear. Next time we'll be asking for line handlers if we ever depart from this dock again. This scenario clearly requires more than 2 people to perform successfully, especially when those 2 people are us. We make it to the slings, and I toss our lines to the handlers above.
just that picture I showed you. So, yeah, I didn't mark the slings. I just showed you that picture. Do you know? I'll eyeball it. Hold on.
You have it. Chris then reappears with his phone and the photo of where the slings should be placed. We spent the next few minutes making the straps match the location based off another naughty cat that Chris found on the internet. The crew got the slings to match the picture. Now time for the big lift. This was the real nerve-wracking part, as if we hadn't had enough drama today. Another big moment for us, coming out of the water. This is more than a boat. Drifter is our home, and we had never done this before. We can only hope everything goes... Okay, that definitely wasn't supposed to happen. We just dropped. Fortunately, we were still mostly in the water, otherwise that could have been really bad. Like, catastrophically bad. Actually, to be honest, it very well could be that bad. But there's no use worrying about it now. We won't be able to assess the damage until we're totally out of the water. They lowered the slings and we repositioned them, based off some old footage of Drifter I had stored from when we splashed a year ago. This time, they also tied the slings together, on both sides, so they wouldn't slip apart from each other. There was a lot of discussion, but ultimately, it was our call to keep going with this new game plan. Okay, we're all secure now, hopefully. Time to raise Drifter once again. We were totally out of the water at this point, and then Chris hopped off for our next big move. And then our keel smashed into the concrete. I'm kidding. Whew, we did it and nobody cried or died. Yet. Drifter got parked here so he could have his bottom cleaned, and we would later assess the damage. The crew in the yard raced to get Drifter secured. This would be a temporary holding spot until they could clear some room for us in the yard, which was packed like sardines. The crew supplied us with a ladder, and we were able to get up on deck to stow away all our loose ends. Now time to assess the damage, not just from today, but the normal wear and tear from our year in the water. We had some projects we wanted to tackle, like redoing our water line and replacing our anodes, maybe throw some more paint on the bottom. It was really good to be able to check all this stuff out. It's amazing what growth can build up in just 1 year. Now for the real fun, our prop. See how it's not spinning freely with ease, and we don't even know where to begin addressing this kind of issue. Oh yeah, and we also have to fix that solar panel we just busted. Well, on that note, I think it's time for lunch. We haven't eaten anything all day, mostly due to anxiety, and now that we're coming down from this crazy roller coaster of emotions, we head on over to what is now our favorite budget-friendly chicken place, Pollo Lucas. They serve a very generous meal for the two of us, and it's only
$15. It's supposed to be the best chicken in all of Puerto Peñasco. Pollo Lucas. Yeah, that's good, dude. Get in there.
You've done some good work.
I gotta say, Kell, you can't really find any flaws with this place. I think I give Pollos Lucas 5.
Wow. You never get 5s.
I rarely get 5s, and this is delicious.
We cashed out and headed back to the boat. With our bellies full, our motivational fuel supply was also restored. Well, we missed it, but they power washed our bottom, which is nice. And one less thing that we have to do. We did a few things like pull off our anodes and mark the residue of our true water line. Then we got told Drifter would be moving to a different yard, so this afternoon wouldn't be too productive in terms of boat work. We hit up a market on the way home. Fresh produce has been really hard to come by since we left the US, but we were told this market would be our best shot. Plus, today happens to be the day they get their shipments. Ended up being a rather successful trip, but definitely not the leafy greens we were jonesing for. Then we came back to the apartment to discover we somehow adopted a second cat. Later that night, Chris walked over to the yard to check on Drifter.
Drifter has been moved, as we expected. We gotta find where they put him. And it's like a fun little adventure at night. Well, that wasn't very hard. But they did put our stairs up. That's nice of them. Come on, Dingus. What up, buddy? How's it going?
Everything seemed in order, but still glad we checked because Chris would be leaving for a few days on a very special mission.
All right, we're all set for tomorrow. We're going into Phoenix to look at some vans. I'm gonna buy a van and bring it down here, use it for the time we're here just so we can go back and forth. I know there's gonna be some product runs and things like that. And then we'll probably just pass it along for what we purchased it for to another cruiser.
That is a fantastic idea.
The next morning. About ready?
About ready to hit the dusty, head back to the US of A. We'll look at a couple of cars in the Phoenix area. I'm gonna go get some snacks for the road because I'm taking a shuttle in that takes about 4 hours. Across the border. And then, then we'll be in Phoenix, and it's only supposed to be 115 there today. Bye.
Bye. Have a great time.
Time to board the shuttle.
While Chris was making his merry way across the border, I was busy getting this ship into shape.
Okay, so I think I got this figured out. You go in, you finally pay on the Mexican side. The buses stay here, and then you cross on foot and then get into a different bus. Well, I gotta say, it's very easy as a US citizen to come back to the United States. Just get your picture taken. They must have some cool like facial recognition software. So they scan your passport and take your picture. I think we go over to this gas station and the van's already supposed to be there somewhere, and we get on a new spot. I think I'll stop and see if I can't grab something tasty, a little treat for along the way.
No doubt it was a hot one today. Hopefully Chris got something cold to drink to make it through the rest of this adventure. Yep, you're reading that correctly. It's 124 degrees in Phoenix right now.
All right, we've Ubered to the place. Let's go take a look at a whole Sienna. Kelly's bugging me for the VIN so she get added to the insurance. We got to figure out whether we even want it yet first.
So, did we just buy a van?
Left Phoenix about an hour and a half ago. Everything seems to be going well, so we're in good shape. I don't think I'm going to make it by the border closing. It closes at 8 p.m. and it's like 8 p.m. sharp.
Yeah, I highly doubt Chris is gonna make it at this rate.
Well, I didn't make the border crossing, but I did find this little hotel called the Copper Sands Hotel. This will do for the evening, then we'll get up bright and early and head south.
Well, it's the morning after, and I'm hoping that Chris can make it back in our new van. Wait, hold up. Does this mean we're van people now?
And living in a van down by the river.
Now coming up to the border crossing.
Sorry, I forgot this window is broken.
Open the window.
Open the windows?
Yeah.
Okay, this one won't work, but the rest of them do.
Thank you.
Yep. Good to go?
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Just cross the border, super easy. I think if you have visible stuff in your car, they'll stop you, or they might just randomly search cars, but we got lucky. So now to Puerto Penasco, which is about 70 miles further.
Good news! Our new beast of a van just made it another 70 miles.
Honey, I'm home.
Hi!
Hello.
It's been a while. Once Chris was back, it was time to start tackling the out of the water checklist.
Back in the boatyard.
Today, we'll definitely be getting our steps in. Between the two of us, we climbed 152 flights. Okay, not really, but it felt like it. We let out our entire chain and inspected it. Next step would be to scrub and hose it off, and then stow it away to prevent growth or rust.
I don't remember putting warm water in this bucket. Be careful here, because you're going to grab the anchor pretty soon.
One last scrub for our mantis.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Okay, go slow. All right, I put our extra gasoline in the van. What have you been up to?
Cleaning this.
What is that?
Sea strainer.
Stinks still.
No, it doesn't. It smells like dawn.
No, it stinks.
Put that in your mouth.
No, I'm not going to.
Do it.
Smells of the concentrated, disgusting, dead calamari.
No.
Yeah, it does.
It really does smell like dawn.
No, it doesn't. You just whiffed it at me. You're gross.
Anyway, on to the next project, pickling our water tanks. In order to do this, we'll be adding a mixture of vinegar and hot water to our freshwater tank, like a lot of it. And then we'll basically just run all our plumbing fixtures until the tank runs dry. When you can start to smell the vinegar, you know it's working. Next on the agenda, covering up the port lights. It would get pretty hot on Drifter as he'd be baking in the sun and totally sealed off from critters. This way of reducing the heat was about as good and cheap as we could afford.
Are you making an oven down here?
Oh, it feels like it.
Oh my god, like I can just feel the heat rise as I come down here.
Just for reference, the temperature outside was nearing 100 degrees already. After hustling through most of our list, it was time for arguably the most important project, giving our engine a freshwater flush.
Okay.
There's your triple.
Will you just make sure this stays where it is?
Yep.
Ready?
Yes.
That should be it. We should have now pickled the raw water intake system.
It does
And
smell like
I
a
was-
pickle.
Yeah, it tasted great too when I siphoned.
I love pickles.
But
mouthful there. The temperature was now 102 degrees Fahrenheit. We just couldn't keep going, so we went back to the apartment with the intention of coming back later that evening when it was somewhat cooler. We also needed to pick up a few things. Nothing too suspicious, just zip ties, a tarp, and some poison.
what is that stuff?
Stuff you don't want to eat first.
It is a humane pet, and I don't know if it's humane or not, but I know that you can put it in a commercial kitchen. Cockroach killer.
Now for what appears to be our last task.
Oh, this bra, I hope it works. And yes, we're going with that name. Bra. You'll see. Actually, that's not what I'm calling it. It's a blindfold, silly. It's a blindfold. We're gonna put this blindfold up and I think it's gonna work great.
As we packed up our home, it was a bittersweet feeling to be in this position. We were anxious to get back home and see our family and friends in the States, but also sad to be leaving Drifter behind. Also a little scary knowing we'd be so far away and we wouldn't be able to physically check in or fix any issues that may arise. There was a lot that could go wrong, but we just had to trust that our boy would be in good hands. We said our goodbyes. The next few weeks would be a pretty radical change of pace for us. Keep watching for this week's blooper reel, sponsored by our patron, Lou.
What's that? Yeah.
Nice clean bottom.
So that's what I'm here for.
So we get on the right channel and then we can communicate one way with them? 2 ways? Both ways? Never mind, I'll just...
Give the information I want to give.
Alright.
Why ruin the surprise?